Hello everyone, this is Serf, and we're here today with the Revolutions video. If you're excited, subscribe, like the video. I'll teach you what would be a good way to go about conducting your own revolution or civil war for all you troublemakers out there. I got a big old notes page I'm going to go through sitting here with you. We're going to dive right on in. Just like for the majority of these videos so far, 3 parts. 3, count 'em, 3. The first one, building your conspiracy. Then, the Disinformation Campaign. And finally, keeping power. I skipped over the war part because I think war should be its own separate video. No due date on that one yet. But war is pretty it's complicated and self-explanatory at the same time. If you've ever been involved, you kind of know what I mean there. Like, it's all going to come down to gear and experience. The more experience you have in wars on the macro, the more you're going to know, such as like the use of bamboo, magma blocks underwater, the prickly bushes. The name escapes me right now, but you know, everything can be used, like TNT as well, blowing open the walls if you're attacking. It's all very meta, and I'll talk about it sometime in the future. So first off, building your conspiracy. If you get in a place and you're the power hungry sort and you want to take over, the first thing I'd say is do not act immediately. Don't start rounding up people and announcing your intentions and making yourself a rival or a threat immediately. That's how you get put down by basically everyone in the nation. You're going to want to sit, you're going to want to wait, and you're going to want to listen. You're going to want to learn about all of the people in your particular nation, what they like about the nation, what they don't like about the nation, their dispositions. Are they a martial people? Do they like war, or are they much more pacifist? Do they enjoy the coalition sort of thing, or is the nation like very low population, and so you're dealing with a small handful of people? You're also going to want to learn the weak points of the nation and its particular system of government. I put out a video recently about democracies, and so if you're dealing with a democracy, there's several weaknesses in there that I thought were weaknesses anyway. Some people disagree. That's okay. Kingdoms, more authoritarian regimes have their own set of weaknesses too, such as with their top-down leadership structure. They're kind of deaf to the rabble, the common rabble, the people, as it were, and so they're not gonna really have an ear on what you're doing unless you decide to make it public, or the nation has like an interior spy sort of ring, which is weird because I've never seen that happen. I wouldn't say it's impossible or it's never happened, but I just haven't seen it. And you're also going to want to find out where power resides, and that goes hand in hand with the system of government. How horizontal is that leadership structure? That's what you're going to want to find out. Is there just one big old man at the top, or is there like a temporary president, prime minister with different ministers below it, or heads of state or whatever? Those are very important things that you're going to want to know. Next, you're going to want to build your support very, very passively. Don't make yourself a public figure just yet, unless you already are. Then just keep doing your thing. But if you're just a man on the ground, you're going to want to start attracting people towards disillusionment. Find other people that aren't so keen on the nation, and instead of letting them leave the nation or doing their own revolution, maybe you can monopolize on it and convince them to fold in under your particular banner of disillusionment. Maybe you'll want to talk about reform or something that would entice the disillusioned individuals to not only stick around, but stick around to you in particular. Also, like I said, if you haven't already made a name for yourself, like if you're not already a public figure sort of within your nation, don't feel pressured to do it just yet when you're still learning, when you're still trying to figure out what is going on in the nation and how you can best exploit it for your own needs. It's better to be wise and non-powerful than powerful and not wise. You know what I'm saying? Next is what I like to call the constructive criticism. Criticism in quotes. You're going to want to point out incompetence wherever you see it. Whenever one of the politicians messes up or agrees to a bad deal or leaves the nation for, you can call upon the RP reason. That's pretty warranted as long as it's within RP. But you're going to want to point out those mistakes wherever you find them. Next, start bringing up talk about reform. I brought it up about a minute ago, but now start talking about changing the government. Don't make yourself the leader of it just yet, but start introducing the ideas of maybe if you're a socialist, then a more horizontal form of government. Or if you want to be the emperor, talk about how rule by the people is sort of ineffective or something. Start thinking about what you want to do and try to influence others in the same direction. And with that all culminating, all boiling in the pot, you know what I'm saying? This will start disaffecting the citizenry, particularly when other people agree with you. If you already have like a posse or a group of friends or people at this point who will back you up publicly when you're talking about this reform or pointing out the incompetence, that will go a long way. If third-party strangers, just unaffiliated citizens within the nation, see other people agreeing with you, they will be more inclined to agree with you as well. Next section here is the Disinformation Campaign. You're going to want to continually participate in the government. Now is where you're going to sort of want to step out into the spotlight vaguely. Not with your revolutionary ambitions, just you personally trying to do your own thing and progress your own story. Try to start local. Try to be like the mayor of a town or like a representative of your particular locality. It's easier to do the more democratic your nation is. So, like if you're of a town or you wanted to start a town, you could make yourself the representative or have the other people vote for you. It will go farther if it's not a town that you founded on your own and you just joined a large town or sizable town with other people and you convince them to make you the leader for a limited time or in perpetuity, whatever. It would give you that posse. It would be loose. They wouldn't know what you stood for particularly. But when you have constituents, when you have backers like that, that's the first foot in the door when building your revolutionary faction from the inside. Also, once you get this small position of power, you can start being the change that you want to see in your locality, and you can advertise that. A lot of places within governments have a lot of autonomy. This goes for all sort of nations, no matter the form of government. You will typically have a ton of autonomy. There's no one coming through all the towns, making sure everyone is following the rules, quote unquote. As long as you're not staging the revolution, they'll have nothing to sort of shout at you for. But you can be the change you want to see. If you want to be more authoritarian or less authoritarian, or you just want to be the one in charge, you can put through reforms in your locality and advertise those reforms within your national Discord. This will help put your name out there even further. You can become this paragon of change, provided you get enough popularity from just the reforms. You can become this paragon of change, and tons of people will rally to your town, rally to your sort of ways of doing things. They might even move to your town, or get their leaders to change their ways in and of themselves. You're also going to want to communicate with the other politicians in your locality. I have this in my notes here, and I want to quote it. I said, "Be the star of the show before you burn it down." So, just become famous within your nation. Let everyone know who you are. Be someone that they know is pretty powerful and is moving and shaking throughout the nation. Also, provided you do have some pretty good power within your nation, fear is good press. If people think you are powerful and can do things if you wanted to, they are much more inclined to join you. You're going to want to walk the line between imminent threat and helpless nobody, you know? And when you've got this power and you've got your small party of personal sycophants that think you're the next big thing, you're going to want to slowly, subtly spread your influence over the nation. Think about it like how you would play Plague Inc., like max infectivity but minimum severity, like noticeability or whatever, and just start collecting your people. With you're going to want to keep doing all of the steps you have been doing, I've been listing so far, and over time, it's going to gain steam, it's going to gain traction. People will start to think of you as someone who they can go to for their own gain. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. No one's going to come to you if they think there's nothing in it for them, or they're just going to get put down by the government. You're going to want to convince people that your way is their way. You know what I'm saying? Now, time for the last category, keeping power. This is already after you've had a successful revolution or a successful civil war or whatever. You've got power. Now, how are you going to keep it? The first thing is you're going to want to start extending peace branches to perhaps enemies you've made, competent enemies, but enemies nonetheless. You have the power now. You have the control. People who don't want to be there have already left, and so you're left to sort of pick up the pieces and consolidate what you have earned through blood, sweat, and tears. And this is going to have to include some reincorporation of trust. Pardons, possibly amnesties, if they intend to stick with you and they were good at their job when they were in power. This is not necessarily the nation leader that you cooed or whatever, but maybe they're more competent subordinates. Also, this is my personal recommendation, you're going to want to have an interior spy network. You can have an outside, you can have an international one too, but when everything's very rocky, when everything is sort of topsy-turvy with you just acquiring a new nation, an interior spy network is not a bad idea when it comes to who's still dissenting your reign or your tenure or whatever. The next thing is clear showings of authority. Now you're going to want to build your cabinet, build your government, give positions of power to the people you have come to trust. People who are loyal and competent. That's the main two things that you need to look out for when you're considering giving them a political position. And power, as much as you won't think so, but the power really does lay in the Discord roles. Who you give positions of power and what power they have is directly contingent on what they are going to be able to do throughout your nation and the influence they are going to be able to pull. You're going to be at like the top echelons, and all the different smaller leaders are going to be coming to you. But the nobodies, the regular old citizens, you could say, I call them nobodies, but if you're a citizen out there, I appreciate you. I have nothing but respect. But anyway, all the citizens are going to be looking up to the minor politicians to lobby their needs to the big man, just like they did to you when you were just the mayor of a town or a governor of some province or sub-province or whatever. So you're really going to want to trust who those people are. The last step of the process here is stepping into the international. For the first couple days, you're going to want to keep yourself relevant in the national announcements, let everyone know what's going on the macro within your nation. Tell them that you've seized power, tell them that you're reforming, tell them that you're putting down rebellions or whatever against your rule, and then start acquiring allies and diplomatic relations abroad. You're really going to want to step out into international politics and make yourself a well-known name, particularly if you acquire a rather sizable nation. The bigger your nation, the more you'll need to put yourself out there so you can garner the respect that the other ones have sort of claimed through their lordship of their nations. But tell me what you think. This is the end of the video. Subscribe to the video, like the video. And yeah, what did you think? Could I have added anything? Am I just speaking through incompetence? Is there something you can add? Give your comments, give your tips if you have any experience in the subject in the comments below. Let not the video be the only learning experience here. Let the comments from more experienced individuals speak for themselves. Next video, I will be talking about the Rathnear World War that just happened, the Allium and Coalition Wars. It should be pretty good, so stay tuned. I'll be back real soon with another video.